Life is supported by four pillars: health, wealth, love, and purpose. Knock out any of these, and you'll find yourself quite unhappy or maybe even downright miserable. Picture this: you're fit as a fiddle, but you're lacking in love, cash, or purpose. Sure, you've got your health, but without those other bits, you won't really appreciate your health. Eventually, you might lose that too. And here's the thing: health is the easiest to maintain, but a real pain to regain once it's gone. Or let's say you've got your health, a job you dig, and people who truly care about you, but your wallet is feeling lighter than air. In this case, your life may seem like you're trying to fix a sinking ship with duct tapes. Frustrating. Eventually, the whole thing falls apart, taking down all the other areas of life with it. And even if you're healthy and loaded and doing what you love, but lacking in the love department, there's going to be this eternal emptiness that nothing can fill. No success, no fame, no shopping, no fancy travels will fill that void when you're spending your holidays all alone. And sure, having your health, wealth, and love would mean this life is a joyride. But eventually, you might feel bored, ungrateful, or constantly chasing for the next thrill. To really live it up, we've got to give and receive love and feel like we're making a real difference in the world, not because we have to, but because we want to. But without those first three pillars, it might feel like we're spinning the wheels and wondering if there's more to this life. All right, let's dig deeper, starting with health. Hi, my name is Sophia from ABS Academy. Thank you for stopping by. Here I share with you lessons, stories, and tips, everything that I have benefited from during my personal transformational journey, in hopes it might help you too. In addition to this, my personal mission is to initiate a love pandemic. So if you found value in this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Together, let's spread words of positivity and create a world filled with more love and compassion. P.S. I love you. Think of it like this: keeping your health in check is kind of like maintaining a car. It's a breeze to do your regular checkups and oil changes, but a whole other ballgame if your car falls apart. Sadly, most people don't realize this until they're hit with a real health scare or when it's already too late. Picture this: in those scenes in old movies where guys have to shovel coal into the furnace of a train to really keep it chugging along? Now imagine the boss of this train is a real piece of work. He's greedy, selfish, he doesn't really care about the well-being of his workers. He feeds them stale bread, works them to the bone hours on end, and expects top-notch performance. Obviously, these men are not running on cylinders. They're tired, they're hungry, and burnt out. So what does the boss do? He sends out his goons to whip them in shape as if that will magically make them work better. Now picture this: these men throw up their hands and call it quits. What's that man going to do? Stranded in the middle of nowhere with no crew on board to make sure that the engine is running smoothly. Plus, he's at risk of becoming the prime target for pirates, putting his life at even a greater risk. Now, what does this have to do with you and your health? Here's the deal: your body is like a bustling city filled with cells, tissues, and organs. Basically, all the stuff that make up, well, you. And you're the big boss responsible for these tiny little cells and their well-being. But here's the kicker: if you're feeding them junk and bombarding them with stress, it's like that greedy old man who is starving his workers and expecting them to perform miracles. Not a great plan, right? Because if your cells start to call it quits, it's game over for the smooth operation of your body. Now let's chat about wealth. I once came across a quote that kind of went something like this: a man's worth, a man's success isn't solely dependent on his skills and talents, but also the zip code that he was born in. Now, STEM biology proves there's some truth to that. Bruce Lipton's study reveals that our cells absorb information from our environment. And guess what? Our environment plays a massive role in shaping our beliefs. With majority of the population across the globe residing in low to middle class areas, the rich men get painted as the bad guys. So if we're aiming for wealth, we have to tweak our relationship with money. As long as we cling to the notion that money is the root of all evil, he'll steer clear of us. I love how Reverend Ike compares the money to a high classy lady. She won't come knocking if you treat her with disrespect or fear or lack understanding on how to manage her. Money is energy. Show her you're worthy of her and will treat her right, and she'll be drawn to you like a magnet. Now let's dive into the topic of love. In the past year, both men and women have been opening up to me on how they're struggling to find real love. So here's my take on it. You see, most of us are spending a ton of our time on social media, and social media is bombarded with quotes like this. If you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. The smartest thing a woman can ever learn is to never need a man. The most dangerous woman of all is the one who refuses to rely on your sword to save her because she carries her own. What do I have to bring to the table? Boy, I brought this table. I'd rather struggle every day of my life than to ever give a man the power to say, you wouldn't have that if it wasn't for me. These quotes portray women as independent and self-sufficient, almost to the point of rendering men completely unnecessary. Furthermore, there's this trend on social media where married women jokingly depict their husbands as just another kid that they have to take care of, which doesn't exactly make men seem desirable. It's safe to say no woman finds that attractive, and this sort of messaging might create a resistance against men on a subconscious level. Now let's look at things from a man's perspective. Hi there, enjoying the content? If you're ready to transform your life, I've got something just for you. I have made my online course available completely free right here on YouTube. I've crafted this course to simplify complex science into easily digestible lessons to help you understand why you are the way you are and how to break free from limiting beliefs. Together, we'll dive into gaining more confidence, tapping into your creative genius, and experiencing more love, joy, and fulfillment. Each lesson is designed to guide you towards your true essence. I recommend you watch them in order to maximize your gains. Ready to kickstart your transformation? Dive into the playlist linked in the description below. Happy transforming! Now let's look at things from a man's perspective. From a very young age, we're taught that being a man means providing. Now, in today's age, you're not just competing with successful men, but you're also competing with successful women. You might feel like your worth is tied to your bank balance or status. It's understandable, that's the message we've all been fed, but it's not necessarily true. The issue isn't necessarily your bank balance. It's either you don't feel like you have anything valuable to offer, or you don't really understand women, or most likely both. Here's the scoop. Women aren't all that different from men. Women also crave love, intimacy, and being understood, just like you. But the one thing you might struggle most with understanding is how unsafe women feel. Like always, like all the time. From the moment we're born, we're taught how unsafe the world is and how we must always watch our back. From the stranger offering candy out of a van, to the man at the bar trying to get into our pants, to the powerful men at the workforce trying to abuse their power and take advantage, women often feel like a target, so what they need the most is to feel safe. You can offer her that by making sure that she feels seen, heard, understood, and accepted. Don't be the guy who pokes fun at her to cover up for your own insecurities. It is not cool, not sexy, and it does not make her feel safe. Instead, be the one to create a space where she can feel safe and be herself. Now let's wrap this whole thing up with purpose. In a world where we are all vying for attention and battling algorithm, it is easy to fall into the trap of following the next trend. instead of leading on our own originality. And it doesn't help when we look to speakers and motivators who tell us to mimic successful people instead of tapping into our own creative genius. Our purpose reveals itself when we tune into our true essence. Imagine your circle, and because you're not in tune with who you are, you're looking out into the world and feeling jealous. So you decide, hey, that triangle looks pretty sexy. I'm gonna be like that. Or how about that square? That square is pretty successful. I want that for me. So you try and squeeze yourself to fit into these molds where you don't belong. Let me tell you, you will never find fulfillment in doing that. Why? Because you're meant to be a perfect circle. The world needs a perfect circle. Literally, no one can replace that or take that place other than you. That is your unique gift. The world doesn't need another triangle or another shape. It needs you, the authentic you. The moment you realize, accept, and embrace that truth about yourself, you unlock your fairy tale. But how do you discover your unique shape? Well, the answer lies in self-discovery, acceptance, and love. I once heard a woman on Instagram say, if you weren't spoon-fed love as a kid, you will lick it off a knife as an adult. And you know what? That applies to both relationships and purpose. If you didn't get the love and encouragement or recognition growing up that you needed, you will pretend to be anyone, do anything, sell anything, say anything in order to get noticed. But here's the kicker. In order to truly stand out, you have to connect with who you are down to your core. The being you were when you came into this world before you were told who to be. That's the key to truly being seen and leaving a mark. P.S. I love you.